Just kidding with Kayla. Kids don't care if you're on vacation. They're up with the sun. And if you're staying with a house full of people, you have a choice to make. Be rude and let your kid wake up the house, or distract the child until it's a decent hour. That's really the only choice. Kayla took the considerate route. Here's how it went.
Kayla Sullivan reporting live from vacation, where my son continues to wake up at the crack of dawn despite a 3-hour time difference. I can confirm I am exhausted, but he's ready to get up. Due to the fact other people are staying in this home, we can't do that. Investigators are working to determine how to keep the juvenile quiet and detained until an appropriate hour. Thoughts and prayers are appreciated at this time. Authorities have exhausted all resources, including unpacking the suitcase, watching the iPad, and even allowing a morning lollipop. Not my best parenting decision, but drastic times call for drastic measures. This just in, we heard a toilet flush. Does this mean my morning misery is over? We'll follow Alan down the hall to find out. Back to you.
It would have been funny if the people in the home were like, "We didn't hear your kid, but your news voice
was like really
so loud." What are you doing reporting so early?
Yeah, it's like way too early. Alan was out cold, but you were super loud.
Whoopsie. Anyway, it really is an issue, and this was not the first vacation this has happened on.
Sure.
I remember one time I was with my younger brother, and he was like, "Absolutely not. It is way too early for this."
Yeah.
Except it was like 9 a.m. at that point, and I feel like by 9 a.m., if you're not awake, that's on you. I'm sorry.
And I do agree with that. I would even say like 8:30, sometimes 8 o'clock, depending on like what the night before was like.
Yes.
But anything before 8 o'clock, you've made the right choice. Keep your kid in a hostage situation in the room. Don't let them out until you at least hear one toilet flush or a pan moving around in the kitchen or whatever.
Oh yeah. I'm like listening for those sounds like a hawk.
And all it takes is one person. You get one person, you're good. But if you don't hear one noise, you got to wait it out.
And there are things you can do, right? Like you can go for a drive.
Sure.
You could just take them outside to play for a little while.
Yeah.
I gave him the iPad. It was like the first time in history that my son was like, "I don't want to play the iPad." Are you kidding me?
Yeah. We just saw him at the beach last week on the iPad.
Oh, yeah, that was a joke.
Yeah,
I told you it was a joke.
Right.
Didn't really happen.
Sure.
But I really honestly wouldn't put it past Alan.
I mean, I would even be okay with, like, if there's a common area, taking them out if they needed to watch the TV or something along those lines.
Keep it quiet.
When they're like running around and making a lot of noise, I get selfish. Oh my gosh, going into I locked every door possible that would lead to our room when we were on vacation because there were a lot of kids on this vacation.
Yeah.
And my children, thankfully, understood, like, you don't get up until I get up. Like, that's just not how this works.
Teach that lesson? Teach us.
Yeah, well, you have to
my
talk
kid
to
doesn't.
the teeth.
I did that. I did that. And that's the worst part because I couldn't like raise my voice. I couldn't because I had to be quiet too. So I was like, listen.
Were there other kids on the trip? Or was it
There
just
was one.
One. Okay.
And the other kid wasn't awake yet.
Sure.
But he wanted the other kid to be awake.
Yeah.
And that was the problem.
That's hard. See, because on our trip there were so many kids that, like, once 2 of them were up, or 3 of them, then you could be like, okay, you are now allowed to go as well. Just be quiet and considerate of other people. Yeah. And my girls are older, like they're 6 and 9, so they're kind of that age where Maddie, being 9, can really lead Ella in that. But
okay, so you're telling me there's hope?
Sure.
I didn't believe it.
I don't have the boy energy in my household, so that's a different vibe. Like, I remember being a little kid, like, you want to run and jump and do things.
Yeah. The stories I have for you.
Oh, listen. But it sounds like you did a good job, though.
I tried.
It sounds like you did a great job keeping Alan occupied. And
no one seemed offended when they woke up, and that was my goal. But I did show them the report, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Yeah, you should be. All right, well.